everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this video is going to have a few Groundhog Day moments in it because I've actually done everything that I'm doing in the video twice. Exciting day today. I am finally going to roll my truck, my 1951 GMC, for those of you who do not know, out into my driveway. So if you've been following along the last few months, really, you've seen that I've been knocking off a lot of things on my list here. And under the moving under its own power, the only two things left are exhaust and tune. However, the truck does run enough to go the 10 feet or so out into my driveway. I feel pretty comfortable doing that. And then if you notice my free stuff, I've knocked off a ton of this. And then to roadworthy, I've knocked off a couple of things, not that many. I am going to redo this list at the end of the video because there's a couple things that have popped up and there's a couple things that are done now, so we might as well remove them and clean everything up. But most importantly, let's try and finally get this thing out into the driveway. So to recap from last video, there's a 1/2 inch spacer between the bed side and the fender on this side, and there's 1.5 inches on the other side. I really want to try and get the 1/2 inch to work because 1/2 inch of space is something that I can make up. A few people have commented that I could actually widen the bed a little bit if I put a spacer between the bed side and the header panel there, and then widen this brace at the bottom. That is something that I will definitely be exploring, but not in this video, just because I really want to get the truck out, kind of do a run through of where we're at, explain the truck to some of you who may not be familiar with it, and then pull the truck back in, and we'll call this video a wrap before I redo my list and figure out where I want to end up. But first things first, as you can kind of tell from my garage right now, it's really full. So I've got those 2 other wheels that I was working with, winter wheels that need to go on my wife's car, just stuff everywhere, hockey equipment, all that jazz, a chair. This is the constant struggle of working in a garage that is also functional as a garage, more or less. So I'm going to clean all that up, set the camera up outside, and then fingers crossed we can get this thing out into the driveway. I've had it on the charger all night, so it should start over fine. I know I need to give it a little bit of gas at idle, drop it into drive, and hopefully we can roll it out. Now, you're going to see some walk around video in this episode that has different wheels on the truck. I actually already pulled it out of the garage last Monday, and then unfortunately I did not have enough transmission fluid in the transmission to reverse it back into the garage. So I hastily grabbed some neighbors and pushed it back in the garage because I wasn't really sure what was going on. And as you can tell behind me, it's in a bit of a weird spot. This spot actually isn't terrible to work on, and I don't mind it, except for the fact that I can't get up to my crawl space up there, and I have Halloween. I have Christmas decorations that I need to get down from up there, and I have wheels and tires, not those wheels and tires, those are my Detroit steel wheels, but I have other wheels and tires that need to go up there for winter storage. Plus, I need to do some reorganizing in the garage to get some space to keep working this winter. So I am going to be pulling the truck out again. I actually also tried to self-film driving it out last week and completely missed it on the GoPro. I do have a quick snippet of it on my phone. So this time I'm going to get my wife out and she's going to point the camera, and she'll be able to sort of capture me driving the truck out, shimmying it around a little bit, and then pulling it back in. At the beginning of driving it, you're probably going to see me kind of nudging forward and nudging back. I'm making sure that I have all the gears this time. I learned from the last time. It's not going to be a full, complete drive in this video, but we are definitely going to get the truck pulled out in the driveway. And spoiler alert, I do have one of my Detroit steel wheels on in the front. The front wheels fit fine. The back wheels, unfortunately, I need new tires, but we will get into fitting those wheels in a later video. For now, let's pull this thing out of the garage.
got my 1951 GMC in the driveway finally after 8 long years. If you're new to the channel, this truck started as a frame and a cab from Saskatchewan, and I've been building it in my garage ever since. It's now sitting on a custom bag chassis with a 4.8 LS under the hood with 799 heads. All the rust has been repaired, the interior is redone, and the firewall has been shaded with LS fabricated filler panels. Sitting here on Oscar Supremes, but I've also got Detroit steel wheels for it. But enough chalk, let's roll this thing back in the garage so we can keep working on it.
Now we're back pretty much where we started. I have brought the truck back into the garage. It's in the position that it was in when I was figuring out putting the bed on, and that is pretty close but not too close to this bench. I've got some space over there. I moved my engine hoist out of the way so I could put one of my Detroit steel wheels down there and give me a little bit more room when working on that side of the bed. And I have also updated my list of things to do, so let's go talk about it. Wheels and tires are at the top. So I have to determine my Detroit steel wheel tire sizes. We'll get into that in another video. I got to find tires for the Oscar Supremes. So those tires look good, but they have no DOT. They're super old. Got to buy lugs for the Detroit steel wheels, and I got to figure out what color I want to paint them. For the bed, I got to widen the rear fenders. Something exciting has happened there, so stay tuned for a later video on that. I got to build rear bed mounts. Those suck. Gotta get new hardware. I'm not super happy with that hardware. I know I could leave it, but I think I'm going to use button heads. And then I have to patina the whole thing because obviously this doesn't match anything. Other than there, I'm pretty happy with how that worked out actually. And then the front end, I got to mount the hood. Actually, I'm missing something. I have to put on my LS fabrication hood struts, and I might put on fender welting. We'll see. Suspension and steering, I got to fix the bag leaks. So that bag actually leaks from the bag. That one's fine. I think I have a hose leak where the hard line goes to the soft line on the front driver's side, and then actually the passenger side front is actually pretty fine. But I want to sort all that out before I start driving it. My steering box has started leaking for whatever reason, so I just got to replace that. And then the front end needs an alignment. Motor, exhaust, and a tune, those are always there. I thought I would have to do that before it could move under its own power. It's actually moving okay right now if I give it a bit of gas. Interior, seatbelts. I want to put some seatbelts in, some lap belts probably. Trans tunnel seal, got to do that. And then grommets, there's a whole bunch of holes in the floor I got to sort out. Now that seems like a pretty reasonable list for the winter. Other than painting it, I can pretty much do all of that with it being cold regardless of the weather. So hopefully I can start knocking off some of those things. With the main ones, I know exhaust and tune seems super important, but I know if I get an exhaust and tune on this thing, I need to be able to drive it on something. So I have to figure out at least a plan for the wheels and tires for the first season. I would like to do the Detroit steel wheels, but because I messed up ordering my rear tires, white walls are super expensive. So I really need to figure out what's going to be cheaper. Is it going to be buying 4 15s for now or 2 18s? We will probably, the next video is going to be me figuring out the tire size as best I can. So hopefully you don't repeat my same mistake because it was pretty dumb. And then from there, I'll keep cranking away on the stuff I can do in the garage while I save up for the exhaust and the tune. I'm kind of now, while I save up for the exhaust and the tune, I know for sure my mass sensor is wrong and I do not have any O2 sensors. So it's kind of a miracle that it runs as well as it does. The big downside to getting those two things done is the truck has to move. So that means I got to get someone to tow it. There's a couple of different things around that that's going to make it a little bit difficult to do this winter. So that might be early spring things, but I do know that I've got some homies that want to help out there. So hopefully we can get that done as well. And then fingers crossed, at least this will look like a completed truck next season. Hopefully I can get it on the road. There's a couple of big things that I got to pay for, and I got to earn some money for that. So we're going to keep plowing away at the garage, and then hopefully come back with some stuff that we can do later in the season next year that I can get paid for and bring you guys along. So I know this is a really exciting video. This was the first 2 times that the truck has actually moved under its own power. It seems to be moving pretty well, and I honestly can't wait to drive it. So, you know, things are going to get exciting around here. I said I was going to keep plowing away on this truck, and that is 100% what I'm going to keep doing. So thanks again for watching this video. Give me a like and a subscribe, and hopefully you're along for the end of this build, which honestly could be a couple months, could be a couple years, who knows. But let's get back into it, so I'll see you in the next video.